Okay guys, so this is a continuation video from my last video. Um, so in the last video, I was trying to build an air control system, and this is the result. I didn't want to bore you with another long video, so I just sat down and made everything work. I had some trouble, some things going wrong. So yeah, this is the final result. Let's get straight to it. So inside the inside the interior of my base, I have these two vents, passive vents on the roof, and I ha also have this chip, which I'm going to show you the code in the end. Um, so let's start with these. This passive vent sucks air out of my base and puts it back into my filtration system outside. You may have seen it in my previous videos. And this pipe over here uh, is putting air back into the base, except the input vent pours the right kind of air. It has the correct ratios, where this one may not have the correct ratios. So in a way, this is the bad air that I want out of my base, and this is the good air. Actually, this is not necessarily bad air. I'm just trying to get it closer to the perfect ratios, or at least the ratios that I want in my base. Um, right now, these are actually the ratios I more or less want to have in my base. I'm aiming for at least 1% carbon dioxide, around 35% O2, and more than 60% nitrogen. This is a good ratio. Um, I could have more CO2, but I think 1% is just fine. So let's go outside to see how exactly this works. Um, Also, let me know if you like longer videos or prefer shorter videos. So let's get up on the roof. This is the uh, vent that's taking air out of my base. This is a back pressure regulator set to 105 kilopascals. And on the other side, a normal pressure regulator with 110 kilopascals. So this needs to be higher than the other one in order for there to be the correct airflow. So it goes like this. Um, I'm sure that if you set the difference in kilopascals to be higher, the airflow will be stronger, but I don't think that's necessary. There's not really any point, and you may start seeing those, airflow effects, which is not necessarily bad. There's just no reason to have that in your base. So let's follow this pipe. So this is the air I want out of my base and back into my filtration system. It's going back into this waste pipe. This is my central waste pipe. The furnace and the arc furnace are connected to it. And this goes into a tank and into my whole filtration system. This is where it gets split up into all the different gases that I need. So, as you may know from the colors, this is O2, nitrogen, and carbon dioxide, CO2. And this is the place where I mix the gases in the appropriate way for my air. So, I'm aiming for 30% oxygen, 70% nitrogen, and then on the next one, I'm adding CO2 around 5%. And this is the result. So it's not exactly the ratios that I asked the machines to go for, but it's close enough. And the reason is that at first I didn't have enough pressure in all of my pipes. So from my understanding, the gases did not mix perfectly. Plus, there are differences in temperature and other conditions which affect the final result. But it hasn't been a problem in my case. It may be a problem in yours. Uh, Very possibly, uh, actually, because every base is completely different sometimes. This is just a pipe analyzer. I just added it. It's the last thing I added for my computer chip, which I will show you in the end. And yeah, the gases go back into the base, and that's it. It's just a continuous flow that takes air, takes air out of my base and pours in like closer to perfect kind of air. Um, so this is a simple way to have the kind of air you want in your base. It's yeah, it's very simple. I'm sure there are many complicated ways to make it more efficient. You can always over-engineer stuff in Stationeers. One thing I don't like is that I keep recycling actually clean air for this to work. But as soon as the air is good enough, everything is switched off. So it's not a big issue at the end of the day. Because when you get your air to be where you want it to be, uh, there won't be much of an airflow because the machines don't have to work that much anymore. So this will be switched off most of the times in reality. At least I think so. And you can always adjust like the pressure and other stuff for your case to make things work. Um, let's go. Let's go back into the base. So yeah, if you do this, I suggest you already have enough gases inside your tanks
Oxygen critical.
um, before you switch everything on for the first time. Let's cancel that. Don't need to wait. So yeah, not sure if you can see. Yeah, you can see that CO2 is currently slowly going up. It wasn't on 1% right now, so it's going to get back up very slowly. This system is quite slow. I'm sure you can upgrade it in various ways to make it faster, but it doesn't really matter for my case. I mean, I'm already close to a good uh, atmosphere in here, so there's no need to rush. If I had a bigger base or many more plants or some other configuration, I'm sure this would be a problem, but it works for now. I think by adding more, like adding another vent and pressure regulator or something, I could make it twice as fast. But yeah, so um, let me show you the code, which I've never done before. I did some research to understand the easiest way to do this. I think I have found ways to make the code as simple as possible, and I think it's also easy for you to make your own changes. So, first 5 lines are just aliases. These are all the kinds of machines we connect to this. So I'm using all the connector slots or whatever they're called. So I have my input gas pressure regulator, output gas pressure regulator, the back pressure one, I think. It doesn't really matter which one is which. Then I have my gas sensor in the interior of my base, so I can check the ratios. The two gas mixers, doesn't matter which one is which. Just make sure you label your devices appropriately so you can find them later when you connect them to the chip. And this is the gas analyzer on the roof. I use it so I don't overpressurize my clean air pipe. This is my last addition. I didn't have this at first. So let's start. This is the starting point of my update loop, straight up yield, because I'd rather do it here than in the end, because there are two jump points. I don't want to have the yield option, the yield statement like in the end. It would have to be on two places. This part is the part that controls whether the gas mixers are on. Basically, I load the gas analyzer pressure into R0. This is the pressure, as I said, of my clean air pipe. This is the pipe like over there that pours air into my base. So the gas mixers work like uh, pressure regulators. They pump gas
Power
away.
low.
Uh, so you don't want them to be on all the time because if you see my pipe right now, it's like 40 megapascals, which is crazy, and it's actually draining my gas tanks. And that's terrible because I really don't need that much gas in there, and I want the gas for other reasons other than the air inside my base. So load the pressure here, then store less than. So what this does is it checks if the pressure is lower than 10, and if it is, it stores 1 on R0. Otherwise, it stores 0. And I just set the on of the gas mixers to R0. So in other words, the gas mixers are on only when the pressure is less than 10 kilopascals. You can change that however you want. This is just the sample value. This is the last thing I added. Then we have the more important part of the code, the control of the air ratios. So I load, um, yeah, this is my gas sensor. I load the ratio of carbon dioxide on R0. Um, and here I have the conditions that switch the pressure regulators on. So if it is less, if R0 is less than 1%, switch it on. If it is more than 5%, switch it on. Same logic for the oxygen. If it is less than 30%, switch it on. If it's more than 40%, switch it on. And nitrogen, I just say if it's more than 50%, actually less than 50%, switch it on. And it's better to have it this way than the other way around. And other way, I mean uh, control whether control when it is switched off, like the opposite of this. Because then you would have to say this and this uh, in order to switch off. But now it's just an OR condition. It's simpler because uh, I don't have to do anything to program in the OR condition. If I had the AND condition, then I would have to add more logic here. So I check both conditions at once in order to switch off the machines. So in the end, if you have reached this point, it means the devices have never switched on. I just set them to 0 and jump to start. If any of these switch stones has executed, it jumps to here and I switch on the machines. And that's it. So this is, I think it's simple code. I know it's assembly, so it always looks like a big deal, but I hope I helped you understand it line by line. Let me know in the comments if you need some more help with this. I'm happy to assist. I will upload this on Workshop, Steam Workshop. Um, and yeah, you can easily change any of these ratios. Uh, as you can see, I'm only using R0. It's because I don't reuse anything like any value like on later lines. I can really just reuse the same register. No reason to use multiple. So yeah, thanks for watching. Shorter video, more compact, more knowledge in one video. I think that's better. And yeah, see you in the next one.